Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to another God experience. This week's God experience is omniscience. The shadow is judgment. The gift is farsightedness. But of course, we're only speaking about the city. And yeah, omniscience for me is like one of the true cities or one of the highest cities, I think, in the gene keys, although I'm probably missing quite a few. Yeah, and I'm here to tell you, I don't have much to say because it's way above my pay grade. Um, but I think it's a tricky little one. Like I, yeah, where do I want to go with this? So, just looking at the word omniscience, of course, we know that omni means all and science means knowing, so all knowing. But I was really intrigued. I find it interesting that omniscience, om, starts with om, right? And I think this is the key to omniscience, or it's kind of what is after the om. So I don't, if you're not familiar, om is spelled A-U-M in the Indian tradition, but it's pronounced om. But it represents the four states of consciousness, which is AUM. So A is waking state, our normal everyday waking state. U would be dream state. And a message is coming through. Yep, there it is. I'm omniscient. There's my precognition, my farsightedness coming through. Anyway, and then the M is deep sleep. And that's the Om. But what is the fourth state? The fourth state is called Turiya, and that's awakening to absolute reality. And I kind of so the foundation, which the numbers I'm going to kind of talk about, the foundation of omniscience is the number 10, and it represents manifestation of God. And what it's saying is, in order to reach omniscience, you have to reach this fourth state. And the fourth state is Om. And it's what comes after. After it's the silence. So if you want to reach omniscience, do your Om, but rest in the silence after it. And there's you're going to find omniscience. But it's saying that, yeah, the requirement for this is to have awakened, have your consciousness awaken to that state, absolute reality. And because the Om or the silence is the thing that's behind everything, everything that ever was and ever will be. So, of course, if your consciousness is there, and in that state, subject object has been uh, merged, there's no subject, there's no object. And of course, you would have access to everything. And I think it takes some training anyway. What am I trying to say? But here's the rub. Here's what I think about omniscience. Now, I am going to speak humbly from my own personal experience. Messages are just coming through. Um, yes, there has been an awakening here to the fourth state. I am nowhere near living from that state 100% of the time. And certainly, as Richard talks about, the heart has to be involved. The flowering, the complete flowering of my heart has not completed by any means. And Richard is saying that these are the two things, well, that's what I'm garnering, that are necessary to live in a state of omniscience. However, when I find myself and I can draw my attention into that space anytime I want, and it's hard to do it talking to you and thinking, trying to be a me. But if I'm allowing, it's funny, if I allow, I know I'm using all the wrong words, consciousness to see through this being, absolute reality, what I see, what happens is, of course, the me goes away, and there is no interest in discovering any kind of knowledge or to know, because the seeker, the little me, is gone. And all that I see, I mean, I see things, I know that there are things existing, but they don't feel real to me. They're existing and not existing at the same time. So that's being in that space of silence prior to anything ever being manifested. That's being in the background of everything that was. So I'm wondering if the true meaning of omniscience is just knowing and resting and living from the fourth state. It's not about knowing things, because there's no longer any desire and there's nothing here. Does that make sense? Anyway, I know it makes sense, but I'm just wondering if it's a little tricky city. But yeah. But anyway, I know that it's possible to have, I mean, there have been some saints that have been all knowing, and of course, Ramana Maharshi and all them. I mean, wow, that to reach that level, I mean, that takes every moment of your life, daily practice, being secluded. And we're not in that type of environment right now. So I think it's a very high level. Not that you can't move into that state after you've had this level of awakening, right? I think that, in fact, all of us, even now, if you could get to that space and you could stay in your body for long enough, you can inquire with the universe, get to that silence, do the Om, go there, rest there, open up your mind, let go of your mind, rest in your heart. To ask a question of the universe, and it will come to you. Okay. So I think that omniscience is available to us. Of course, I mean, we have channelers and people that know all this stuff. Anyway, but I think omniscience might mean something else than all knowing. It's knowing that all that exists, but doesn't exist. I don't know. Anyway, let's look at the numbers really quickly. For omniscience, practice the Om. I think that will take you there. Let's see, share screen. We'll just do this quickly. Yeah, because the numbers aren't that exciting. I mean, they're great, but nothing I haven't already said. Foundation is 10. Fully embodied God consciousness, the fourth state. And after that happens, the ability says you have a direct access to all that is. Plus, you've awakened to a brand new level, a new structure of reality. You no longer fear death because there's absolutely no dying, because, yeah, if you're behind everything, you are everything. How can you die? Anyway, and then the success of that is, yes, the flowering of the heart, you are love in action. And of course, the 12 represents ascension. So, yeah, like I said, way above my pay grade. And if anybody out there is resting and it is omniscient, please let me know how to do that, because my ego mind is interested in knowing everything. However, consciousness is not. And I think that's what omniscience is really about, is knowing that everything is perfect as it is, and there's no need to know more. I don't know. Anyway, until next time, bye.